the second part of do's and don'ts of grief. And in this video, we are going to look at the things that you should not do when you have someone close to you who have lost their loved ones. The first thing is don't avoid them. Don't avoid your friend. Be there for them. Don't get tired of listening to them. Don't get tired of hearing them out. Give them time. Be physically present for them. If they need your help, be there for them. If they need you to listen to them, be there for them. Sometimes hug them. Make them feel loved. Make them feel that they have someone who they can talk to. They have someone who can listen to them. And as I said in the previous video is that you don't have always to say something. Sometimes the only thing they need is for you to listen and to show them love and compassion. So don't get tired of being there for your friend. The other thing is that don't rush the process. When it comes to grief and loss, give someone time. Let them take as much time as possible. And when it comes to the do's, I said, when you see them rush back to their work after the burial of someone they loved, encourage them to take action. When you see someone have taken too much time in grief, encourage them to seek help. Go to a counselor. They will be helped to overcome grief. So the second thing is don't rush them to overcome grief. The other thing is don't say anything that starts with the phrase at least. By this I mean, don't try to look for positives when it comes to losing their loved ones. Don't try to tell them, at least they are not in pain anymore. At least your loved one is not suffering. At least now they are in heaven. At least, you see? So don't try to look for positives when it comes to grief. Don't try to make them feel good, because there's nothing that you are going to say that is going to take away their pain. There's nothing positive that you're going to tell them that is going to make them feel good. So don't try to tell them that at least they are not using much money. Now you can concentrate on your life. At least now you can settle down and continue with your business or go back to work. Don't tell them that, because that can cause them more pain than healing. The other thing is that don't presume to know their feelings. Don't assume that you know what they feel. Don't tell somebody that, I'm sorry, I know what you're feeling. No, you don't. When someone have lost their loved one, whether you are the brother, whether you are the sister, or whoever you are to that person, whatever they are feeling, they are the only ones who can feel that. You can't. So don't try to tell them that you know what they are feeling. You don't. That can make them feel worse. That can make them even be annoyed at you, because you are trying to tell them that now you are feeling whatever they are feeling, that you understand their feelings. Don't try to tell them that you understand what they are feeling, because in real sense, you don't. The other thing is that don't try to impose your beliefs on them. Whatever that you believe in, those are your beliefs. Keep them to yourself. By this I mean, because people have a tendency of telling someone this. When someone close to them have died, you go and tell them, don't cry, don't worry, because they are in heaven. If that person believes in God, don't try to tell them whether it is God's will or not, whether they believe in God or not. If it is them saying that, that's okay. But don't go telling them that, don't worry, your brother is in heaven. Don't worry, it was God's will. No. Don't tell them those things, because that can hurt them even more. So don't try to impose your beliefs on them. Whether you believe that person have gone to heaven or hell, whether you believe it is God's will or not, don't try to tell them that. Because maybe they don't believe in that. And if you tell them it's God's will, they might even get angry with God. You see? So don't impose your beliefs on someone who have lost their loved one. The other thing that you should not do is don't start talking about what should have happened. After the burial, there are people who start telling you, I wish they would have taken him to a different hospital. I wish they would have done this or that. I wish the burial would have been done in this style or that. I wish you would not have cremated him or not. Don't start talking about what should have happened, because you start unearthing the pain that they were feeling instead of helping them to heal. So don't talk about what should have happened. The other thing that you should not do is don't be afraid of their tears. I said, let them cry. Don't prevent them from crying. If they want to cry, just let them cry. The other thing is, don't expect every day to be the same. Don't expect them to eat like they used to eat. Don't expect them to wake up the time that they used to wake up. As an employer, don't expect that person to perform as they used to perform. Give them a break. Life is not going to be the same again for them. And so, don't expect everything to be the way it used to be. And don't expect every day to be the same. Give them the space to be themselves. Give them the space to grieve as much as they want to. The other thing that you should not do is, don't try to replace the person who have died. If, for example, you have lost your brother and you have other brothers or sisters, don't start saying, at least I have other brothers. Even if he died, I have another sister. Even if my child died, I have other children. Don't try to take his praise away. Don't try to replace him when he has died, because that can affect your healing. The last thing that I would not want you to do, if you have lost your loved one, or if someone close have lost their loved ones, don't try to make assumptions. Don't start saying it was their destiny to die at this point in time. Don't say it's better they have died now instead of maybe in a few months to come or in this period in time. Don't make assumptions. It's the same thing that I said. Don't start saying that they're in a better place. Don't start saying that they're in heaven. Don't do that, because that can really affect your healing. So thank you so much. Now I have enlightened you on the do's and don'ts of grief. And now I have one thing left to talk about grief, and that is how you should help children go through grief, because children go through grief. If you have a child who is 5 years, 10 years, and maybe you think that when their father have died, or when their sister have died, or someone close to them have died, that they do not experience grief. Let me tell you, they experience grief, and they need to be helped, because if a child does not go through grief successfully, it can affect the rest of their life. So thank you so much for your continued support. As I always tell you, I can only imagine what can happen if you shared this video to someone else, because you are going to help them, and you are going to help them help somebody else by disclosing this knowledge to them. Thank you so much for your continued support. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and let us continue transforming lives.